Good evening and welcome to this learning video in Microsoft Excel. The last video I put out there introduced the filter function. Well, this video is going to also use the filter function, but in a more advanced format. So what you see here on the left is a list going vertically. Oftentimes when people filter, the list is in a vertical view. However, if you want to analyze this and you want it to go across horizontally, many multiple steps would have to be required to do that. Or even if you just do a text to columns feature. But the feature I'm going to show you now with the filter function going across multiple columns, in my opinion, is a lot more direct and straightforward. So here we go. The objective is to break down each of these items that are in column C and categorize them by filtering across the different food types. Here are the food types: protein, grain, fruit, and vegetable. As you can see, those entries in column D. So how would we do it? Equal, filter, open paren. I'm going to highlight the entries in column C as my array, and I need to make it absolute so that when I copy across multiple columns, it knows to do the referencing correctly. Type my comma. Same thing. Second argument is what do I want to include? These are the food types. Also absolute. Now, what I want to do is I want to make a reference to the first cell right here that contains protein. Equals G4. Close my paren. Press enter. Now, when I press enter, I'm only going to get the first column, as you can see. But now I use my beautiful autofill feature to go across the remaining 3 columns. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful thing? It worked. Wow. Now, if I just happen to change one of the values here, you know it's going to happen. It's automatically going to update as well into what we call this dynamic array formula. That's what the filter function basically is. So I'll change the abbreviation here from Philly to Philadelphia, abbreviated. Now, when I press enter, watch how it's also going to update over here as well. And here we go. Actually, I wanted to correct something here that I said dynamic array formulas. Well, I went to Copilot and I said, is the terminology correct for using these functions? Is it dynamic array functions or dynamic array formulas? So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but you can take a look at this prompt and do it on your own because it very clearly lays out the nuances of how Microsoft officially calls each one. Dynamic array formulas versus dynamic array functions. All right, so I just wanted to talk about that. So again, just reviewing and summarizing this video about the filter function. You can see right here how the function is laid out. And my test here, equal G4, is the first cell in the range that I then used autofill to copy over for the remaining criteria for the food types. So the first one was protein, and you can line up salmon, then lentils, then eggs, and so forth. And then I use the autofill to get it to the remaining 3 columns. All right, as usual, you can always find me on an email. Send me any of your questions about Microsoft Office to tom@leadingedgebizservices.com. Again, that's tom@leadingedgebizservices.com. Ask me questions about Copilot, using Copilot Chat, Copilot inside Excel, inside Word, inside PowerPoint, inside Outlook, inside Teams, inside OneNote. My rates are very reasonable. Have a great evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.